Too many games. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Too Many Games, otherwise known as TMG. And I am your host, Michael Cannon. And again, coming at you live via phone call are my two cousins who will introduce themselves.
You know, your main man Ralph right here. Hey, and his sidekick, Aiden.
His sidekick. Cool. Yeah, obviously still under quarantine, guys. Hope you all are doing, well, staying safe out there. We're just going to get right to it because you know what? We got a fuck of a show for you guys today. And yeah, we got a lot of shit to talk about. It's been quite some time since our last episode, but a lot of shit has happened, a lot of news. We're going to get straight into it, like all other episodes, by getting into the backlog. Welcome. So, I have a lot to talk about because, being under quarantine and staying home, you have a lot of free time to play games and shit. So, before I got into it, I wanted to actually talk to you guys and see what you thought would be a better idea. So, basically, I'm going to break it down for you. I have two major games that I want to focus on for this episode. Those two being Doom Eternal and Outer Wilds. But in the background of all that, I've been sort of going back to other games that I had in my backlog, games that we haven't even talked about, just random stuff that I've felt like playing that I have completed. And so I have a list of those smaller titles that I wouldn't mind talking about, but it's like so much that I'm like, I don't know, would you guys want to maybe like some other date do like a backlog special episode?
Like my backlog games? Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Right? Like we could kind of save that for its own thing because I got a lot of stuff to talk about with that, and we could just do like a backlog special and sort of save that for another time. But whoops, thought that was on silent. But yeah, and then we could sort of just that'll allow us to focus on those two games and then carry on.
Hey, that sounds like a dealio. Let's do it.
Yeah, sounds good to you guys?
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Sounds perfect.
Awesome. So stay tuned for that, guys, in the future. But in the meantime, yeah, I know we're a little late, but Doom Eternal. Holy shit, guys. Holy shit. I have rolled credits. I've beaten it. And what can I say? It's Doom 2016. I don't know how. I really don't, but it sort of feels to me like what Mega Man X was to like original Mega Man. It's like I don't know how the fuck they've managed to ramp it up even more. Yeah, it's crazy. Like playing Doom 2016, it was sort of like, holy shit, this is like the best of its time. But it's like they just cranked everything up to fucking 11. And, it's like from the get-go, you're just, my God, like...
It's funny. Playing the original Doom, I remember I downloaded it on my PC after I got Doom 2016. And, it's really archaic. You can't even jump. It's really just simple.
Yeah.
And then the new Doom just was like, they added a whole bunch of 3D elements. You jump and you platform, double jump. Yeah. And now Doom Eternal, they have like a bigger emphasis on movement. It's like that next step after that next step.
I'm gonna try. I mean, there's really no story here, so it's not like I could spoil anything. But so basic rundown of the game is it's like sort of, I won't say open world, but there's a central hub area called the fucking Doom Fortress, which is basically like your main hub, and from there you can warp to different levels, and those levels are sort of open enough that you can call them like it's like there's linear. It's linear, but it's open enough that there's secrets and shit. Normal Doom shit. But
Yeah.
the platforming, like you mentioned, there is a huge emphasis on it, and it doesn't feel like shoehorned in. It kind of feels like very fast paced and like natural to like the Doom gameplay. And I like to think of Doom, if anyone hasn't played the 2016 version, which is like the same gameplay style here in Eternal, it's kind of like it's weird comparison, but it reminds me of playing a sport in a way. Cause like if you have it on the higher difficulties, you fucking die instantly, like quick as fuck. So you're constantly moving in this game, and obviously the Doom guy, he runs at 200 miles per hour and shit, but
Yeah.
you're basically having to train your mind to constantly move to keep yourself out of the way of danger, but you're constantly having to shoot to survive, but you're also at the same time running out of ammo and running out of health. And so during all of this commotion, you're pressing square to chainsaw enemies, and when you're chainsawing, you're getting ammo pieces like instantly, but you're also invulnerable for like the animation while of you basically killing the enemy with the chainsaw. So you're also protecting yourself while getting more ammo in that way, and it gives you like a quick second to like recoup and then jump to another enemy and then do a melee attack, and when you melee them you get health pieces back. So you're constantly, it's like of basically like you have four things going at once in your mind. You're shooting, you're dodging, you're meleeing, and you're also chainsawing just to fucking survive for the scenario that you're in. You know what I mean?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and so that's kind of like how I think of it as like a sport, but it's crazy because the way they ramp things up, it's like, yeah, you got your double jump, but now you could dash in the air. In mid-air, you can dash twice at that. And you could also climb and grapple onto things. You have like a fucking blade attached to your arm. You got like, it's just it's crazy. It's wild. But I had a hell of a time playing it, and honestly, I enjoyed it more than 2016 Doom. Uh, it made me want to go back and play that game because of how perfect I feel that captures like the classic essence of Doom, and this is very modern, but it's so good. I couldn't recommend it enough, and I'm still going back and trying to beat Doom 3 currently, but yeah. Dude, that's basically my rundown on Doom Eternal. It was fucking, it was hard. I played on the ultra violence difficulty, which is,
I was about to ask what difficulty you're playing at.
yeah. So that's basically like the hard one. There's like two more above that, I think, but
Wow.
yeah, even that was crazy difficult, and I felt like I was improving every time that I played and died, because it's like you'll encounter a new enemy, and that enemy will kill you in half a second, and you're like, you get sent back 10 minutes to your last checkpoint and shit, and you're like, wow, like how could I possibly make it to this enemy and then beat them? And then it's like you constantly dying and retrying over and over. You find a way, you find their weakness, and you it's so satisfying like making it through the level and at the end, and you're like, fuck, like you really feel like you improved as a fucking as a gamer.
Dude, no, it sounds like you got a lot more FPS chops now.
It feels that way, bro. You go back and play other shooters, and you're like, oh, I'm like a god now, basically. But yeah, great game. Um, yeah, it was I was switching a lot with I was going back and forth a lot with Doom Eternal and Outer Wilds when I was first playing it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. You guys have any questions on Doom?
Actually, I did want to ask too, like, what new weapons do they have? Because I mean, they already had, a good amount of weapons in 2016. Like, what do they bring to the table for Eternal?
They actually have the exact same weapons as in all other Doom games. Literally, your basic rundown of like shotgun, super shotgun, normal assault like rifle, and then like mega assault like chain gun, and then they got the plasma gun, then the mega plasma gun, and yeah.
How's it? I mean, like, I know for graphics, like they did kind of bump it up a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'm playing on my PS4 Pro, and it looks nice. Yeah, like it looks good. I'm sure it looks better on fucking like PC with all settings ramped up and shit. But
I mean,
us,
at this point, consoles are already getting close enough. It's like,
yeah, us normies. I don't notice a difference. There's so much shit going on. Like I'm just fucking. My hands are sweating every time I'm playing this fucking game because there's points. There's points where it's like you make it to a certain part and you're like, fuck. If I die here, I gotta do everything. Like it felt like a struggle getting to this point. I gotta do all that shit all over again.
Yeah, I was gonna say a second ago before we started talking about the weapons. Yeah, when you beat those hard segments and you feel that satisfaction, that's like the exact appeal of like the Souls-born games. But I understand it exactly. Like, shit gets hard. You feel like against impossible odds. Like these guys programmed a game you can't beat or something, and then you beat it.
Right? Yeah.
And you feel like literally the man. Yeah.
And even in that,
what a great feeling. That's true.
right, and even in that sense, I feel like Dark Souls and those type of games is a good comparison gameplay wise, because in those games you're also like, all right, I gotta dodge, I gotta block, I gotta parry, I gotta. It's
go
like
through 2 hours of shit to get to the boss, and then actually kill the boss.
yeah,
oh, man. Yeah.
literally. So yeah, like I said, that's my take on Doom Eternal, but I want to get into Outer Wilds because I mistakenly did not do this game justice the last time that we talked about it. I was very confused. I was a young lad, and I was uneducated. I was an uneducated fool. Yeah, I would like to introduce this game properly and give it the respect it deserves. And you know what? Honestly, guys, I'm just gonna straight up tell you that this is probably one of my most favorite games in a long time, in a long while. Definitely.
Quite a label.
Yeah, no, definitely the most I've gotten out of $20. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah, I cannot recommend it enough, guys. It's a indie game, downloadable. It's PC, Xbox, PS4, no Switch, sadly. But so the pitch for this game, I'm just gonna make it very easy to digest because it sort of confused the fuck out of me when I first played it. But literally, this game is Interstellar, the game. Interstellar. If Interstellar, the movie, had a baby with Groundhog Day with Tom Hanks,
Yeah.
If those two movies met and fucked, and that movie somehow became a game, that is that's basically this game. So, space gameplay wise, let me break it down a little bit more. Gameplay wise, think Firewatch, Gone Home, like I mentioned on the last episode. First person adventure, but there's no combat. Everything's very like it's all about the narrative, But the setting is very interstellar in that you're a race of people. It's very comparable to humans, basically. So you can think of yourselves as the humans of that universe or that galaxy, I should say. But you're not, because obviously none of this shit would be possible. I'm getting too deep into it. Either way, you're basically like the humans of the galaxy, and every time you start the game, you're on like a 30-minute timer, and it's basically like Majora's Mask, where at the end of the run, the cycle, whatever you want to call it, the fucking sun explodes in supernovas. and basically just destroys everything, instant death, right? And then you wake up and you start a new run. So I was confused because I was talking about this black hole shit last time, which was not really anything. That's sort of just like on a planet that you can explore. There's like 6 planets in this game. There's not actually 6. There's a couple planets, but even aside from the planets, there's other places, moons, satellites to explore and stuff. And the black hole is basically like the center of one of these planets, and
so like a minor plot line kind of deal.
Major plot line, bro. I'm not even. Whew, don't even get me started, man. So before I get into the plot, I want to go back to the gameplay real quick. So it's every time you start the game, it's on a 30-minute timer, and all of these planets, certain things are happening at certain times, just like Majora's Mask. So this fucking black hole planet, throughout the duration of the run, it's slowly falling apart, and like pieces of the planet are falling into the black hole, and then inside the black hole, like if you jump in the black hole, you end up in the white hole, which is on the other side of the galaxy, and like all the fucking pieces of the planet are falling out there and shit. And there's another planet which is like basically an hourglass, where it's 2 planets that are side by side. One's made of sand and one's made of rock, but then the sand slowly starts drifting from the planet to the other planet to fill up the rock planet, and basically it's like an hourglass, and when all of that sand goes from one planet to the other, that's when the sun explodes. And so, interesting stuff happening. You can explore all these planets, you land on them with your spacecraft.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like, I compared it to No Man's Sky, because that's sort of what it seemed like. It's like a first person, hop in your ship, go to the planet, start exploring. But it's really not, because nothing is randomly generated. Everything happens at a precise time, and you're allowed to skip to those certain times by resting when you first wake up. So you're literally trying to figure out how to fucking not die through exploring, because you're thrown into this time loop. You're told nothing at the beginning. Story wise, I'm gonna get into it. It's kind of it's, I guess, hard to explain for people who don't know like exactly what's happening. So I'm just gonna go.
I'm trying to keep out spoilers though, because I think I might want to try this sometime.
Rolf, you would love this game. I would just tell you that this is your type of game. But yeah, no spoilers. You're basically an astronaut, and you're thrown into this time loop with no explanation. But as you're exploring these planets, every time you die, you're finding out more and more about a different alien race that had come to your galaxy and left all this like this crazy knowledge. And it's also a storyline that you're figuring out like as you're discovering along these planets and stuff. And so basically it all culminates together. It feels like you're doing a lot of exploring and like, I didn't find this last time and stuff. But basically, as you find out about this alien race, you're also finding out like, oh, so if I do this at this time, then it'll take me here, or I can do this. And so it feels like within this 30 minutes, it's a whole fucking like full blown game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you have to find a way to dodge the time loop.
You have to find a way to use the time loop to fix the sun blowing. I don't even want to say fix the sun blowing up, because it's like as you're exploring, you're even finding out information about why the sun's blowing up, and it's like it just gets crazier and crazier. And I've been avoiding my absolute hardest on looking anything up, because I bought this game a couple months ago, so I've been stumped. Like, there's been times where I stopped playing for a while because I'm like, fuck, I'm dying over and over and I'm not figuring anything out. But then you try and like, all right, like I must be missing something. And then, you find something, and it is the most like crazy feeling. It is like, super, it's like rewarding, but it doesn't even compare to the Doom rewarding. It's like, I've made a genuine discovery. You know what I mean?
Like, it sounds a lot more fulfilling in No Man's Sky.
Oh man, it's
like the Instead of having a million planets, you have some planets that really matter.
Yeah, you have a set amount of places to visit and a set amount of time. And so that mixed in with this astronaut gameplay, which is very cool, and this interstellar vibe, like it knows what it's going for. The music and all of that, like the aesthetics, really play a huge part into making this game the most coziest space adventure. Like it feels like the space that, like, you know, as a kid when you think, not even as a kid, I'm getting too into it again, but either way, you know, the feeling that we all got when we watched Interstellar, that game it translates that feeling really well. The ending music to play that lets you know that the sun's gonna blow up is almost fucking identical to the Pikmin sunset theme. Literally, like down to a T.
Oh, you know what? I remember that sequence actually. I haven't played it in a while, but when you said that, it's very like obvious,
right?
Oh, unsetting, like it's
yes, very unsetting. And speaking of unsetting, this game has, bro, those flying out into deep space moments that you're like, holy shit, that would be the most terrifying thing ever. Like that fucking happens, bro, and that is the most terrifying thing ever. Like genuinely, there's a planet that's literally just made of water, you know, and like the first time I discovered it, I didn't know. So you fly into the planet trying to land, and you just fly into this endless ocean of nothingness, and I'm like, yeah, it is the most scariest feeling in the world.
Dude, I hate oceans and games and real life and movies. Yeah, ocean's scary. Oh my god.
Mind you, guys, this was I paid $20 for this fucking game, and I have gotten a wondrous experience that is very similar to those quote unquote walking simulators that, you know, so they try to convey a personal message. This one, I'm not sure what the message is. It's just interesting as fuck. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I think they don't even have to have a message. You can make a fun game that doesn't have combat and still has an interesting story and doesn't try and make you feel like too deep, but you're just interested, like reading a good book.
Yeah. Exactly. The sense of discovery is what I think is what I'm trying to refer to. But that was Outer Wilds. I have yet to beat that game. I actually live streamed it for like an hour or so on YouTube, which I'm gonna try doing a little bit more, just live streaming in general for anybody listening who is subscribed to the YouTube, because I've tested it and went back and watched, and it's actually pretty good quality, and my microphone's good, so I'm like, you know, why not? So that'll be a thing to look forward to, I guess, if anyone cares. But
yeah, I've never seen gameplay, so I'm definitely gonna be checking that out, man.
Oh yeah, and you can listen to my commentary. It's actually crazy. It's funny as fuck. But I started recording, like I started live streaming, and sort of what I was talking about earlier. As soon as I started live streaming, I had accidentally made a discovery that I was like, it was completely brand new to me. And I was like, you can watch it on my YouTube, but it's funny as fuck seeing my live reaction to this discovery. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm scared. Like, what is happening right now? But it's so fucking cool. So yeah, guys, go check that out. And
dude, awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be checking that out because that game's fucking sweet.
That was a lot of me rambling about those two games for the backlog segment, but what have you guys been playing?
Man, so we just picked up Silent Hill 1. Oh yeah, on our emulator.
Ooh, okay.
Through that, dude, I gotta say, as someone who has never played a Silent Hill game, for a game made for the PS1, even still, I'm still spooked by the game.
Yeah,
there's a lot of strategy. Oh, what's up?
No, I was just gonna say, like, the ambience, like, it holds up, right?
It really fucking does. Like, especially with the music and you know what? There's this. It needs to be talked about. There's this fucking little fucking ghost.
I already know.
It fucking chirps.
I remember when that happened when I was with Rolf, and that scared the shit out of us. We were in the school, right? It's in the school or the hospital.
Yeah, that's
Fucking
exactly
cool.
right.
Fucked with me, dude.
And it just literally, it fucking chirps at you, yeah.
And then I'm just like, what the fuck? And it's just walking around. I'm just like, fuck you.
And it doesn't even damage you, right? It just like holds on to you.
No,
It just walks around and like it falls toward you.
it's like a little baby, you know. But it's just terrifying. And then apparently Rolf said that like it's a baby version of an actual enemy that will harm you when it matures, and you'll see it later. So that even scared me fucking more. And I'm like, fuck, like this. Like, so yeah, man. Shit's
You know,
right now we're at the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of speedruns on Silent Hill and Resident Evil games lately.
You beat Revelations, didn't you?
Well, I was gonna save that for the backlog special, but
Oh.
yeah, I did. I went back and I beat that. That was another one of those. Why not? Why like?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. But also I was playing Siphon Filter for the PS1 too, because remember you had on your PSP, bro, that one Dark Mirror or something.
I never owned a single Siphon Filter game.
Dude, I swear you had it.
No, but I heard, it's funny you bring that up. I heard that game on the PSP is actually like one of the best on like not only in the series but like on the PSP.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Either that or Splinter Cell. I always get those fucking games mixed up.
They're all definitely all in the same vein. There's like
Is that one Tom
like,
Clancy? Is that a Tom Clancy one?
Nah, Siphon Filter's its own thing, I think.
Yeah. But I know Splinter Cell's Tom Clancy.
Yeah, that one is.
Okay, so that's the Ubisoft one, and then Siphon Filter is the PlayStation one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny, there's like this meme on YouTube where it has like fucking Splinter Cell guy saying like, oh hey, remember that Gabe spy or whatever? He talks about like Gabe Logan from Siphon Filter. He's like, oh, he's been out of the game for a minute. And then he references fucking he references Snake, and then it's just like, because that was like when Kojima left.
Right, yeah.
Fired. Yeah, and then like Splinter, and he was just like, yeah, well, I don't know if we'll ever see him again. It was just like a little subtle nod. It was pretty great.
What about you, Rolf? Have you just been on the emulator as well, or have you played anything else lately?
No, just Monster Hunter, and man, not even Battlefront. I've kind of dropped that.
Oh yeah.
What's the status on that 3DS situation, bro? Did you ever find that?
I did actually. I haven't booted it up. It's like stone dead.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking maybe I was gonna go start playing that Final Fantasy Explorers on the 3DS. I don't know how you guys would feel. So going forward with this into the backlog segment, we can sort of just keep it how it is and just talk about games from our backlog and whatnot, or we can either do a separate segment, or I feel like I'm just getting ahead of myself, but how would you guys feel if there was a certain game that we all played at the same time? That way we could all talk about it, like sort of, I'm thinking of a book club type thing, but like of a game that we've all played.
Dude, that sounds sweet.
That way we're like all on the same page, sort of. Or we could like replay a game and talk about it that we all love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm gonna say this real quick. I was gonna buy a Nintendo Switch yesterday.
Oh, well, aren't those things like sold out everywhere because of...
Yes. I thought maybe the local Target might but no.
Oh yeah, everybody's definitely on lockdown, so they're switching it up right now. Literally.
Yeah, they have those jacked up prices on Amazon. That's the only way you can fucking buy them right now.
Oh yeah, that's horseshit, bro. Don't do that.
Definitely not.
But what were you thinking of grabbing when you got a Switch?
I wanted to get Mario Kart, Smash Bros.
Mandatory.
Yeah, and Animal Crossing. Everyone's been playing that. It looks like a time killer.
Are you telling me Animal Crossing before Breath of the Wild?
Dude, that was the fourth one I was about to mention right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Breath of the Wild is also Man, that game, I know I could just spend a lot of time just fucking running around,
I've
talking to people, and just going into random caves.
I've beaten that game almost twice, but I still want to just delete my file and fucking start from scratch, bro. Because that's one of those games that like you play like every year just for the experience. You know what I mean?
I feel
Like Ocarina of Time, bro. Like every other Zelda
that
game.
time all over again. They made this huge jump from 2D to 3D, then this jump from 3D to literal open worlds.
Yeah, I could go on about that for a long time, but I have a lot of other stuff that I want to talk about. So let's move forward a bit, and I guess I'm just gonna give you guys some general news about stuff that's happened in the gaming world since our last episode. I know I said that I would sort of keep this more personal and original, and not really sort of display news here like we're journalists or something. But I think this is worth talking about, and I also want your guys' opinion. So, yeah, and in the span of time since the last episode, I don't know if you guys have seen or heard, but Modern Warfare 2 Remastered was released for exclusively to the PS4 for a month for some fucking reason.
I didn't know that dropped already.
I did hear. I saw YouTube cutscenes, and I was like, "This doesn't look fucking real."
So
Well,
that's out.
yeah, that's a thing, but also it's only the campaign.
Are they gonna do the multiplayer at some point?
No, it's literally just the campaign because they want to focus on the normal Modern Warfare multiplayer.
That makes sense. They're afraid of their own competition, but I would have rather played Modern Warfare 2, I'll be honest.
And it's $20. Would you play that?
I don't want to replay that story. I played it enough times, literally like 1,000 times as a kid.
Yeah, it's funny because I wasn't, I got Modern Warfare 2 after the fact.
Yeah.
So I really didn't care that much, but yeah, also there's the Call of Duty Call of Duty Battle Royale.
Sorry,
Basically,
1 second. I'll be right back.
you're good. Anyways, yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard of Warzone, which is basically Call of Duty's Battle Royale.
And that's free to play, yeah?
Yeah, it is. Like, I don't even think you need a PlayStation Plus membership.
That exists, I guess.
Yeah, but it's weird because Black Ops 4 had a Battle Royale mode, so it's kind of like, are they just dropping that?
I think the consensus with Call of Duty is when the next game comes out,
The other
last
one's...
one's officially dead.
Right. You remember when you would go back on, like, World at War and they would just have, like, Modern Warfare 3, or Black Ops, like, advertisements?
Yeah, they would for a decade.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, honestly.
It was scary, yeah.
You know,
Ghost Town.
that's how I feel. Fucking what game was I on that just did that? I like booted up. It was either like Assassin's Creed 4 on PS4 that was like showing Odyssey, or it was like an older game. I can't even think of it. But anyways, moving on. Some disappointing news, but was kind of expected, I guess. The Last of Us Part 2 is delayed indefinitely because of manufacturing problems, I guess, is what they cited.
What?
So not only is that game not coming out this or next month, but yeah, who knows when it'll come out at all.
If it's manufacturing, my guess is they couldn't produce enough CDs. They know everyone's going to buy this during quarantine, and they're just trying to avoid like the panic of some people having the game and most people not.
Yeah, they like released a statement saying that the game's pretty much finished, but they just don't want to release it where, not everyone can play it all at the same time because, that fucking story.
No, fuck, that's a great point. Damn.
You still haven't played that original, have you?
Talking about me?
Yeah.
No. I never had the chance to.
Man, we should do like a game club on that.
Hey,
I have room on my PS4 because I definitely have it.
Yeah,
sure.
man. We should let Aiden replay it, and then we should all talk about it, like with him as like the new, like getting a fresh take on it.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Dude, for sure.
It definitely gives you opinions.
Yeah, for sure. Ralph, I think you would like this. They announced a Rogue Legacy 2.
That's actually pretty dope.
Yeah, I didn't realize how old that game was.
How old? Like 10 years?
Came out in like 2011, I think, or 2012, something like that.
Like 8, 10? Fuck.
Right. Yeah. Another little quick bit of news here. The Stadia Pro, which is Google's, Stadia streaming service, whatever. That's finally in free mode for everyone. There's like a free...
That's what they said, so what the fuck?
What does that mean?
That just means that you can sign up for Google Stadia and play... Basically, you can buy games and then play them on your desktop for free. Like, you don't have to pay for Google Stadia. You could use it, you just got to pay for the games. But once you pay for the game, you could play it on your Chromecast, on your desktop, or wherever.
Oh, okay.
Wait, so what's the point of Stadia?
The
You
point...
need to download the game, right?
Yeah, the point is that you could... It's like in the cloud. It's streaming.
Okay.
Like, you play it off your phone or wherever the fuck you are, basically.
Well,
But,
I guess that's a smart move on Google's part.
yeah, but they're all games that you could play on other consoles, so I'm not going to pay money for a game I already own. Just to...
Of course not. I would never buy that, but
Yeah.
I can see 1 or 2 people out of every 100 who might see that as useful.
Yeah.
Google sounds fucking stupid for that shit, honestly.
No.
Imagine you buy a game like Skyrim, and you want to go to work and play on your work computer. You just go on your Stadia and just kind of like play from the cloud, I think.
Right, on your fucking Chrome laptop that your sophomore teacher gave you. I don't know. Kids these days.
One person, you might enjoy the service. 9 out of 10 people, though, definitely not.
Anyways, moving on. What'd you guys think of the PS5 controller?
I don't like its colors.
Really? You don't like how they're switching it up, two-toning it up?
Yeah, maybe it's just because of the 2 tones, if there are different colors, but
I don't know, dude. It's freaky looking. The first time I saw it, I was like, whoa, this is from the future, Like, I don't know. I like the bulkiness of it, though. I'm ready to get my hands on it.
Oh, yeah.
Start getting my Dorito prints all on those motherfuckers.
Oh, man. Wait, so it's like there's no analog sticks, like a touchpad or something?
No, there's analog stick.
Oh.
Just like how this PS4 controller has like a touch thing.
By the way, it's called...
Like,
It's no longer DualShock. It's called DualSense.
yeah, I saw that. They want you to feel like you're...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's actual needles in the controller that will stab you when you get damaged in a game to inflict pain.
Oh, fucking... Oh.
People are gonna like probably mod that shit and fucking fuck up their shit.
It'll fucking shock you, like.
Dude, that's kind of cool. I mean, hopefully they'll implement that in VR controllers, and then we'll start talking some business.
Yeah, so the DualSense thing comes into play because I guess they're really, really trying to promote their haptic feedback triggers, which is basically like you will feel the tension of pulling the fucking shotgun, and like compared to a normal weapon like a blade or something, or a bow and arrow, shit like that.
Yeah, I'm curious. Hopefully, it's not just like a lab vibration, like a just like I don't know, like.
Yeah.
But I'm curious.
What I imagine is the literal tension of the trigger depends on the weapon you're equipping. It'll the controller will have more resistance
Right.
for a bow bow, so it feels like you're pulling a bowstring.
Yeah,
that's like a trigger to feel like you're squeezing a trigger.
Exactly.
Okay, that sounds cool. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sort of speeding along with other stuff here. Like I said, I got a lot to get through, but we don't really have to talk about it a whole lot because none of us have played either of these games. But Resident Evil 3 Remake and Final Fantasy 7 Remake are now out there on the streets for the public to play. And yeah, I'm hearing a lot of good things from. I'm hearing a whole lot of great things from 7. You know, everyone's saying this is like they did it. I don't know how they fucking did it, but they did it. And then
because it was such a iconic game to remaster.
And the fact that it's only like the first actual like couple hours of the original Final Fantasy game, like they managed to spread that out into like a full blown RPG.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah. So.
I remember Final Fantasy 1 had 3 discs, not 7 on the PS1. Had 3 fucking discs.
But I heard like the last disc is just like the last boss fight or something, right?
Oh yeah, it's like you unlock like the literal final chapter. There's a couple extra things you can do before you fight the final boss that are unlocked in the 3rd disc.
So
I think like the secret optional bosses and people's like special weapons and shit that you can find in different places. Okay.
Ralph, have you beaten the original 7?
You know what's funny? I'm literally outside of Sephiroth. I don't have my PS3 anymore, so I don't know why I say it. But I got to the final boss fight in the final disc, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save it, turn it off, and I'm gonna beat this fucker tomorrow. And I never booted it up again. Damn.
Okay, and I'm assuming you know how it ends.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, Aiden, I'm assuming you're probably on the same page as me, where you have no knowledge of this game.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I've never played the original either, so I actually considered picking up 7. I didn't. Man, I'm at a point right now where if I spent any more money on a new game that I have so much shit that I could play that I haven't beaten, and literally all the time in the world, I have no excuse now. So I feel like buying anything new is literally just a waste of money until until I beat these games. But
Did you play Final Fantasy 15?
I played the demo, and there was so many times that I almost bought it, and I never did.
When I was in Ohio, I got it from a Redbox and played it for a bit. And I actually really liked it. So when I found out that 7 was kind of like doing a style like that,
right? It's very.
I was half disappointed. I was like, oh, I wanted a true remake, but the combat is actually fun in that game. So I kind of was interested.
I guess the difference between those two are that it's sort of like Final Fantasy VII gameplay. There's also like a strategic element to it where it's sort of combining Final Fantasy, I want to say, what is it? Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. In that game, it's not really turn-based, but it's more of you're sort of equipping moves to these characters and then pressing the button, and then they'll execute the action on their own, and you're sort of sitting back and watching them do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to say auto chess because I know that's not the right term, but it sort of, in a sense, reminds me of Fire Emblem, where you're basically like, you, over there, I want you to attack this enemy with this move. And then you're sort of just assigning that. And so 7 Remake, I guess, is a combination of that and Final Fantasy 15, where it's like you're doing quick attacks and stuff. It's not turn-based, but you're also pausing and slowing down time, and then you're setting your partners to do certain moves to enemies while you're attacking. And it seems crazy, but from all of the podcasts that I've listened to, it seems like all of these diehard original 7 fans are really liking the new gameplay, and it feels like a bit the best of both worlds. So I'm hearing great things on that.
Yeah, the only thing stopping me personally from trying to get it is the fact that it's only disc 1. And knowing, I already know what comes like right after when it ends.
Right.
I'm gonna want to play that part next.
It's literally.
I'd rather wait for it all to come out together and just get some sort of bundle.
But Rolf, you're forgetting that this game took 10 years to fucking come out, so who knows how long it'll be until part 2 or whatever the fuck, or however many parts they make.
It'd drive me crazy if I got to this point and wouldn't be able to play the next part immediately after, especially if it took 10 years for the next one to come out.
Right, I feel you. But yeah, Rose Gang, I have him on PlayStation. I see he's been playing it a bit, so I was actually thinking maybe on a future episode if he could possibly make a guest appearance and then give us his like rough opinions on it or something. But yeah, I'll have a chat with him about that. In terms of Resident Evil 3, I'm getting a lot of mixed reviews on it. I see some people are saying...
yeah, too. I've been hearing mixed.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's great and it's an awesome follow-up to the 2 remake, but a lot of people are saying that they changed stuff that didn't need to be changed and it makes it a lesser game for that aspect.
Oh. Would you happen to know, like, an example of one of those things?
Yeah, so in the original Resident Evil 3, the whole, like, gimmick of that game is that it was originally a side game. It was supposed to be a spin-off, like a prequel type thing. So it was already... It started already as a smaller project, so there's not a whole lot of bosses in that game. Instead, Nemesis, the main fucking like antagonist, he's constantly chasing you throughout the entire game. And in the original PS1 version, there were certain moments where you got to pick, like, do you want to run from Nemesis or do you want to stay and try to fight him? And it would be like, a very tense moment where he would pop out and you would just have to make a decision. And apparently they just removed that whole decision making in the remake, and now every time you encounter Nemesis, it's just a scripted event.
And you have to fight him?
I mean, you could fight or run, but like every time he pops up, it's not like random. It's always like the same, like you know when it's gonna happen, basically.
I'll say this, I remember playing Resident Evil 3 on PS1. He was super fucking scary to me as a kid. Like, extremely scary. And he did seem to pop up just fucking randomly. I'd fucking run away far enough that I thought he couldn't follow me, then do my own shit for a while, then all of a sudden, bam, he's right around the corner. I remember I wouldn't feel safe unless I had, like, the grenade launcher with acid rounds. If I didn't have that specific shit, I just would feel like a coward.
Yeah, that one I was also interested in picking up, but I still haven't even beaten Resident Evil 2. Another game on my backlog. So who knows? I might pick it up if I eventually beat it. But the more that I think about it, I'm like, fuck. I'm only 2 hours into Resident Evil 2. I haven't even gotten to the Mr. X shit. That looks scary in itself.
Dude, I've been pushing those RE2 playthroughs, man. That's shit, man.
Dude, I'm like, I would probably shit myself if I got to that point. Like, fuck.
Dude, yeah, I remember when I first saw the trailers of the game and all the little the ways you can like bust up zombies, like it was really great, really fucking awesome. I don't know if RE3 like improved on those aspects. I saw the beta.
They toned them down, yeah.
I think they toned them down, but I don't know if they changed it from the beta or not. But did you know about that?
What?
Like a lot of the gore and like the body destruction effects were sort of like toned down from RE2 remake, and it seemed like a downgrade actually.
Huh. Well, I don't know. I haven't heard anything on that. That would be weird though, seeing as Resident Evil 7 is literally just like a fucking gore fest.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Aiden and I were watching a little bit of gameplay of 2 compared to 3, and like in 2 you shoot them with a shotty, they might like bust in half or their limb breaks. Or they have unique gore. In 3, they kind of tested it on different zombies. They just have like the same kind of animation for when they're hurt, and they always just kind of drop dead in the same way.
Yeah, it was. It just seemed a lot more static. I mean, I think if you had like a side by side, it'd be easy to see. But that's just something we saw.
Well, I will definitely let you guys and everyone else know how that game plays if I ever pick it up. But I'm just gonna sort of throw out some more rapid fire news here because there's I don't want to spend too much long on all of the stuff that I have to talk about here because it is a lot. So yeah, I'm just gonna speed through this really quick. Give me your quick reactions, I guess. But there was a Nintendo Direct Mini, and it was basically like a little Nintendo announcement announcing a couple new games. And they had a 2K segment where 2K announced that a couple of their series are coming to Switch. That being the BioShock collection and the Borderlands collection.
What?
And also XCOM for some reason. But
this is fucking crazy. They're doing some crazy shit with the Switch right now.
I think it's weird because one thing that stands out is the Borderlands collection comes with fucking 1, 2, and the pre-sequel. And
what?
I don't think that's like a collection outside of the Switch.
No. Other consoles get the Handsome collection.
Yeah.
Which only has the games featuring Handsome Jack. Yeah.
Right. And also in that same Direct, they announced that the next Smash Bros. DLC character will be a character from ARMS, but they did not specify.
The clown.
I don't know. I don't care either at the same time.
I don't remember anyone else. That's the only one I can think of.
Anyways, so going back to Half-Life Alyx, that game came out and it got a 10 pretty much everywhere. 10 out of 10. Hooray.
Man.
What did we expect?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. So I also had on here, because it wasn't April yet before I wrote this, but the PlayStation Plus games for April are Uncharted 4 and Dirt Rally 2.0. But Uncharted 4, anyone who has yet to play that game, actually all 4 Uncharted games are free on PlayStation right now because due to the coronavirus shit, PlayStation's doing like a stay-at-home initiative thing where they're giving out the Uncharted collection for free, basically, on PlayStation. So you can actually just download those 3 games for free and 4. So, yeah.
Wow.
If you haven't experienced those, then it's free. What are you doing?
Wow, that's awesome.
Okay, also, yada yada. Okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Finally, after fucking 50 minutes, I want to talk about where we left off on the last episode and list off a couple positive / soothing, relaxing games that you guys should play during quarantine. And yeah, so I don't know if you guys want me to start or if anyone has anything else in mind, but I got a list here of 5 games. So yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Right. I guess I will go ahead and give you guys my first one, which is Firewatch. I talk about a lot, but that game, oh yeah.
It is a magical game.
Very magical. It hits you right in the feels, and I think it's the environment of that game is it's cozy, and it sort of is where I want to escape to in times that I'm locked in my bedroom.
Yeah. I wish it wasn't so tense and serious sometimes, because it is really serene and peaceful at others.
Yeah, it is crazy how sometimes it takes a pretty dark turn. I was genuinely scared at certain moments, but you guys have any recommendations?
I know it's not exactly peaceful, but I think the Patapon series are pretty relaxing to play.
Oh, yeah, man.
You just gotta vibe out, strategize your little guys, and head on out and hunt some shit.
I feel you on that one, bro. It was kind of hard for me to come up with games because I was like, they're not necessarily positive, but they're games that are good for relaxing, And
yeah.
What about you, Aiden?
Man, I think I'd have to say something along the lines of kind of like those Mario RPGs. Like I was whenever I play like the Partners in Time and then even like Super Mario RPG. Like even though like it's a lot of item management and everything, like there is something like really kind of soothing about it. Like you're kind of just
all that upbeat music and it's Mario going around doing this
Yeah, you're playing like an RPG. Like, even though most RPGs have like a very dark sort of theme, like, you know, it's Mario, so it's just, you know, yeah, it's really lighthearted.
Have you ever played a Paper Mario game?
I have played a little bit of one actually, and I still have a 1,000-Year Door installed. I still have to play that one actually.
Oh,
yeah, I played it. I've played like a little bit of it. Like,
we need to jump into that.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but great things about 1,000-Year-Old Door.
Yeah, I played like a good amount of it on my PC when I had an emulator. Nice.
But
I can't remember exactly where I left off, but
it sort of is what you're talking about, that Mario RPG style, where it's like, you know, super cutesy environment where everyone's like a cartoon, but it's also just like a straight up RPG.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, no, it's fucking awesome.
So,
yeah.
Moving on, I also have on here Journey / Flower, because I feel like those kind of are like similar games.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people have played it by now, but really quick, bite-sized experiences. You know, you're really Flower, especially. I feel like that game, you just, you know, maybe fucking hit a dab, get yourself a bowl or something, pop it in for a couple hours, and, you know, set sail.
You pick up other flower petals, right?
Yeah, you're literally just like one flower petal in the wind, flying around and picking other flower petals up.
And then you have to dodge enemies and shit?
No.
You see the world, and it's like industrial and kind of like
polluted. It gets all like ugly looking.
It is pretty. It's nice. It has good sounds, and you feel like you're cleaning the world when you're just sitting in your room playing a game.
Right, yeah. It is very nice and peaceful. Another one would be Gone Home. Another walking simulator, of course.
I got that one for free on PlayStation Plus as well.
I forgot that was on PlayStation Plus. I almost bought it on the Switch, but I was like, you know what? You could, to be honest, a lot of these games like Firewatch, Gone Home, you could just watch a playthrough of it and you played the game pretty much. That you don't need.
Gone Home especially.
That I literally will never probably ever own that game just for the fact that I've watched an entire playthrough and I know that game like completely.
Yeah.
You guys have any more recommendations?
I was gonna say Little Big Planet, especially
Ooh.
1 and maybe 2. 2's really good, but 1 always has a special place to me.
Bro, I could never decide between 1 and 2 because I'm always like, 2 is obviously a better game, but 1, the nostalgia factor on 1, bro, is just through the roof.
Also, like, the creativity they had to use, because they didn't have, like, bots.
And they didn't have as many layers. They didn't have water, bro. Remember, there's no fucking water?
So they had to, like, use really creative ways to, like, have these things to give us ideas on how to do it, and also because that they were playing by their own rules.
Damn, Rolf. I think you might have just got the best one right there, man. Little Big Planet. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Funny story. I actually... the way that I got that game was funny. I was at Costco with my mom, and I'm like in middle school at the time, but I literally just slipped the fucking... I asked her if I could have it, and she said no, and then I literally just like slipped it in the cart. They paid for it, and like I thought like she would notice, but she didn't, and they charged her, and I felt so bad that I was like, all right, I'm just not gonna say anything, and we're just gonna go home and forget about it. But then Josh was there, and he was like, bro, you're just gonna waste $60. Like, you can't have your mom just pay for something and not pick it up, because you have to pick it up like at the end of the, like, they have like an electronics section where you pick shit up after you bought it, and so I was too afraid to tell my mom that we had to go pick it up. But then Josh told her, and then she got hella mad, and yeah. I ended up with Little Big Planet though.
That's hell.
Speaking of Little Big Planet, another game I have, Tearaway, very peaceful.
Oh yeah, that is very close to Little Big Planet.
Yeah, very cozy. I actually started streaming that on Twitch for a couple hours. I literally reinstalled it on my PS4, and I was like, as I was playing through it, I was like, literally seeing every instance of what you were talking about, Rolf, where I was like, man, as great. I love this game so much that I want to love it more, and I feel like I can only do that by playing it on the Vita, because that's like the true experience.
Yeah. You know, I do want to add Scribblenauts is another good one.
Ooh.
Scribblenauts. I don't know why I got that mixed up with the Draw My Life one.
Pretty much kind of the same. Yeah, I think they definitely inspired.
I actually bought Scribblenauts. I don't know why the fuck I own a Scribblenauts game, but I bought Scribblenauts on the Wii U because it was like one of the 4 launch titles.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And in that game, you can play as DC characters, I believe.
Yeah, they started adding a bunch of skins, and yeah.
I'm like, this is a fucking app on your phone. I don't know why I paid $60 for this.
They were damn 60. Oh shit.
Yeah.
They seem like a $60 game.
Yeah,
That's
wow.
Nintendo selling it.
Damn.
So the last game that I have here is actually a funny one. It is Tiny Wings for the iPhone. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I do remember.
I don't know what that is.
Bro, you're just a little chubby bird, and you gotta fly. So there's like these slopes and these hills that you swoop down to gain momentum, and you hold down those. Yeah, and you're basically just trying to fly as far as you can in the amount of time. Yeah, that game was like 99 cents on like the iPhone 4.
Yeah, no, that definitely passed. You passed a lot of time with that.
Some quick honorable mentions would be Costume Quest and Katamari.
Oh, I was about to say, yeah, Katamari. I mean, I haven't played much of that. I saw a playthrough of it, but yeah, that one definitely.
Yeah, let us know what you guys are playing out there to stay sane during this quarantine, and you know what a peaceful, relaxing game means to you guys. Anyways, so before we wrap up, I want to introduce one more segment here, which is just basically more questions, and we're gonna call it Queue Up. And I don't got like a jingle in mind, but yeah. So I'm gonna ask you guys a couple questions. Earlier, a couple months ago, I saw that there was a statement floating online that Disney wants more original games. Like, not just turn this whatever the fuck into a game, but like, instead of making their own games, they like to reach out to game developers to license these properties so that people who know what they're doing can actually make them into games. So my question to you guys is, what is the best Disney game you've played?
Disney game?
Yeah.
Have I ever played a Disney game?
You know, you might have and then not realized it.
That's a good point.
That's kind of scary.
You know what? The only one I can even think of off tops is fucking Kingdom Hearts.
You're right. You're right. I was thinking, you remember that fucking motocross game, Pure?
Pure?
I think it was called Pure, and it was literally just like an ATV, like motocross
I think
game.
I've heard of it. That name sounds familiar.
I think Disney made that game. They made some racing game that it's like, why did you make this?
Huh. Trying to feel the market out. When you said Disney game, the very first game that came to my mind was
Club Penguin.
Tarzan.
Oh.
That you used to own on your PlayStation.
Oh shit,
bro, that one is a fucking classic. For some reason, I don't know why. PlayStation went crazy with their free PlayStation 1 games for PlayStation Plus subscribers, because they're all like fucking Disney games. I have like The Emperor's New Groove, Bug's Life, Tarzan.
I'd like to replay Bug's Life, because that game used to actually scare me as a kid.
That game is scary. That is a scary premise for a fucking game.
Yeah.
You are an ant.
Don't die.
Don't die. Literally. Okay. Cool. What would you want to see be a Disney game or like an original game / story from like a set Disney property? I think it'd be cool to see like an adventure game from like what is it, Treasure Planet?
Oh, that'd be neat.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, you can really dig back into some franchises there. Yeah, I think that would work.
I feel like an easy one would
Wait a minute. Hold on. Is Treasure Planet DreamWorks?
It might be DreamWorks. I was wondering that.
Oh, I damn near fucked myself.
Man.
Does Disney own DreamWorks yet?
That's a good question. I don't think they do.
They already fucking
How
own.
about you, Theory, then?
They own Family Guy.
Damn. Wait, Disney owns Family Guy?
They own Fox.
Oh yeah. yeah. The hierarchy of companies. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's hella funny.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say an easy one to make a game off that could be a spin-off that has nothing to do with it but be in the universe would be Pirates.
Oh, right, of course. That's a great one.
Yeah, you can tell some stories, and they don't have to necessarily even be like related directly to Jack and his crew. They can just be one-off references somewhere in the game.
Can we talk about the Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End video game?
Bro, have you played that?
Because I did play that game, and it actually held up in combat-wise in a sort of clunky kind of way. It was fun? Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I think I have a Pirates of the Caribbean game on my PS2. I think it might be the original one, but also, like, when Xbox 360 first dropped, and, like, it came out before the PS3, I remember Lupa and Fern had the 360, and they were, like, renting games through, like, Blockbuster and shit, and they had the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't even think it was a movie. It was just, like, a random game of Pirates of the Caribbean for the 360, and it was, like, my first, like, next-gen experience, and I was like, this is crazy. You're fucking Jack Sparrow, like, slicing around, like, it was just random. You're just walking around town as fucking Jack.
Dude, no, Michael, you said that perfectly, because I also remember that being my first, like, one of my first next-gen experiences. I was like, wow, like, this is where video games are going? Like, you be fucking, look at the water effects.
Bro, literally, I was like, I feel like I'm Johnny Depp right now.
Yeah, it's like, that is Jack Sparrow. Like, his fucking hair is just, yeah, like. No, I'm glad you brought that up, man, because I definitely, when you mentioned it, I was like, fuck, that is Disney. Yeah, right.
What about a Dark Souls-like game set in the world of Alice in Wonderland?
Whoa. Someone already did try to make, like, a murderous Alice in Wonderland.
I remember on PS3, I'd always see that.
That's called American McGee's Alice.
Oh, I mean, what is that? Just like alternate timeline, or like?
No, I think that's like already a set thing that they just turned into a game.
Damn.
Yeah, I think that might be like a series.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, I asked you guys this earlier, but what do you guys rough estimate would say is the most amount of hours you've put into a single game?
Dude, that's a tough question, because I remember at one point, the most time I had played in a game was Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker on my PSP. I had hundreds of hours on that.
Bro, I've come to realize that handheld games usually are a lot easier to sink that much more time in.
They are. It just builds up left and right. After that, it was Patapon 2, funny enough.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think the only thing that comes to my mind instantly is fucking Pokemon X and Y. Because I was actually consistently that came out during high school. I want to say like my freshman year or something. But I was playing it consistently enough, like with Isaiah at the same time. And I would always check my time, because it shows it to you when you save and shit. And there was a point where I passed like 300 hours. On just Pokemon.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's awesome.
And I never got them all.
Dang, that's the goal.
There's like two more fucking What are they called now?
Generations?
Yeah, there's 2 more gens now.
Dude. Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever sunk, like, maybe around 300, 400 hours in Fallout New Vegas. But that's also because I was my fuck out of it.
Now I think about it, Team Fortress 2 is definitely my highest. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you think so?
I think so. Over the years, I played that game a lot with my buddies.
Yeah.
You can spend a lot of time, hours in that. I mean, all the servers, it's just, man.
Because that's like as mindless as a shooter can get. Yeah. One team, another team, they're exactly the same, and they kill each other. Yeah.
I'm sure I have something like that on like my PS3 or something that I'm just not thinking of.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what is your guys's, and this is sort of relevant to our situation. What is the best social experience you've had while gaming?
I already have a great one. It was this one kid who we were playing Xbox Live. We were playing Derek, the blue zombie map.
Oh man, the best one.
Yeah, and man, we got to like probably like 40 or something, and that was like pretty high for me. And I just remember like we were just like really cooperating. We had like a bunch of other people join, and like it was probably the best match I ever played. And like remember when I got to level 35, the rush that I felt seeing that go to 36, I was like, it's just gonna be even crazier this round.
Bro,
just, like, every round just amped up, and man, like that's one of the games that like I don't think I've ever had another experience like that where it's like, okay, first round, second round, third round, fourth round, like that horde mode is just awesome.
Oh, it really was perfect at some point.
That was
now
like,
I feel like they get crazy.
Bro,
yeah.
that was like the pinnacle of my fucking gaming career during school, you know, because that was when you had literally no fucking priorities. You were like, I'm going home, I'm eating, I'm hopping on mic or hopping on the phone, and we squadding up, and we just Call of Duty for the next fucking 4 hours.
Yeah, man.
I feel you, bro. Honestly, I play a whole lot of single player games, so it's very hard. I haven't had a lot of great social experiences gaming because I don't play a whole lot of online games. So, you know, honestly, I've had some great one-on-one experiences with people, like people you meet while playing, like Little Big Planet, you know, that's a good one. Yeah. And Call of Duty is also good. It's pretty funny, but as a kid, I had a lot of social experience playing fucking Club Penguin. That's basically like baby's first MMO.
It really is. It's an MMO without the, like...
fighting. Yeah.
Man, no, yeah, I can actually, I can see, like, my friends, like, getting into it, and, like, MMOs intimidated me. I was always like, fuck, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I need, like, an objective, you know?
I started MMOs with fucking RuneScape. And that's to MMOs, like, what rock, paper, scissors is to video games.
Would you say that's your the best social experience you've gotten?
Nah, there's been a few in that game, but even then, you can just turn off chat and play that game by yourself.
Well, the reason I ask about social experience during gaming is because I know I bring it up a lot, but I listen to all of these fucking gaming podcasts with all of these outlets and stuff, and they're always talking about how they have a fucking imaginary friend group of, you know, tens of people, which probably still isn't that much, but they're always talking about, oh, I have like a group of friends that I play this game with every night, and we have a Discord group specifically for playing this. And I'm like, who is still playing this? Like,
well, let's say this. The actual probably best social experience I had was probably in Destiny 1 when I needed to like get ready for a raid. Some little kid just invited me to a party. I'd never done it before. I was like, fuck it, I'll join this little kid. And then his brother like added me, and that dude and his homie, us three, we just like played every night, damn near. We'd go into like the 3 versus 3 mode and just fucking tear shit up in PvP. We'd grind out for legendaries and.
See, like that's always like the dream for me. Is like it seems so. Even watching these fucking GDQ streams on YouTube and shit. Oh, if anyone is interested in joining our community, we have a Discord, and it's like I don't know a single person in my city who's playing fucking Crash Bandicoot right now. You know, like how are these people in groups?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it is. It's just like a famous person starting the group and then a bunch of people jumping in.
You might be right. Well, honestly, we should start a fucking Black Atlas Discord. Like,
I mean, any game that I've played with my friends consistently, we have our own Discord. And then we'll mute anyone who's not in our group.
See, even that in itself, friend and game, like, I don't even have that, bro. Like, I don't even have friends who game. All my friends play fucking Apex and Fortnite.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so interested in these online communities where it's like you are literally friends with this person because you know that they're into what you're into.
Shit. I was gonna say that.
You're just gonna send me to Reddit?
Nah, but like Borderlands, that game is hardly social. You play that with your close friends, but you're not gonna meet random people in that game ever.
Yeah, right.
But like I've been playing Monster Hunter, and I join random people's hunts, and you can kind of like quick chat with your little preset list of things, or you can type out something if you've got the time. Once in a while, people got a mic, but most of the time, you don't even say one word to each other. You just join the hunt, you fight the monster, you give a thumbs up sticker, and then you go on with your life.
Yeah, I get that too. You know, I think I'm just hungry for the me and 3 other pals specifically get in a fucking in a Payday 2 map and you know wreck shit up or whatever. You know, like games that are like designed around like that co-op element.
Yeah, my buddy's been hopping back into Counter-Strike and League of Legends.
I will literally never play Counter-Strike ever in my life.
I don't blame you. It's not that fun. I've really tried to like it, but it's not for me.
Yeah, that shit annoys the fuck out of me, dumbass fucking recoil, nigga.
Oh, the recoil is so dumb.
Oh
that game is just so slow.
Dude. Yeah, just like, and you just click in the mouse, you're just like, oh, let's see if luck will shine on me today. Like, it's every fucking time.
Okay, well, I know we've gone on for quite some time, but I have one more question here to wrap up. And what is your guys's, or how should I word this? What is the best DLC in your opinion that you've ever experienced?
Expansion, like style?
Yeah, like maybe something you didn't even have to pay for, but expansion pass.
Something that like upgraded on the base game. The first thing I was gonna say was Fallout New Vegas had some great DLCs.
I'll second that.
Borderlands 1 would be a second contender, but I think the actual biggest, which I'm not sure how many people have played, is Red Alert 2's Yuri's Revenge expansion.
What the fuck is that?
On the PC, the Command & Conquer series of real-time strategy games.
Is that like the #1 most downloaded pack or something?
No, it's just one that I personally really liked.
Oh, okay. You said it like specifically like in a way where I thought like that was like a significant piece of DLC or something.
To me it is.
For sure. I don't think I thought of an answer for this.
Man.
Because it's also about getting your money's worth, you know? Like, I don't know how many games I've bought and they're like, oh, do you want the fucking season pass for 20 more bucks? And I'm like, sure. And then I literally never even download whatever it comes with.
Yeah, or it's like one extra level and a couple extra like reskins or something, and you're like, that's not season pass worthy. Yeah.
I think I've gotten the most satisfaction DLC wise. Probably this is a kind of a cop out, but like Little Big Planet 2, because like those level packs would give you like new mechanics and shit.
They really would. Those were like bang for your buck, kind of like damn near.
It'd be like $5 for a fucking Metal Gear Solid level.
But then you get paintballs, and that was a really cool mechanic.
Yeah, and they had like DC levels, fucking Disney levels.
Fucking Pixar.
Yeah, the Incredibles. I remember the Incredibles, bro.
The Pirates of the Caribbean one was really dope.
Bro, water! That was crazy. That was such a good fucking game. Oh my god.
It really was.
Whew! Anyways, I do apologize for the slightly longer episode. I do appreciate you guys sticking with me and us. And I appreciate my cast here for talking with me for this long.
Hell yeah, man. We just have to make up for lost time.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of stuff that I just sort of ran through, but I wanted to catch everybody up. And yeah, hopefully we help you guys get through these tough times, because I know I'm fucking one of those people who's still working right now, and most of the time I'm just passing the time by like these podcasts and listening to stuff like this. So hopefully in return it's interesting to you guys, and you know, it's shit we like talking about, so we're gonna keep doing it. And once again, I appreciate you guys for talking with me.
Woo! You know it, man. Yeah. And we appreciate the gracious host for inviting us.
On your show, man.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be... I feel like the energy is kicked up a little bit more when we're in the room together, hyping each other up, but hopefully we'll get back to that soon. Thank you guys one more time. I can't say it enough for listening. And we hope you subscribe, give us 5 stars, tell a friend, and all that jazz. You can check out everything that we do here over on blackatlasmedia.com, and check out our YouTube. And yeah, you guys have any parting words?
Man, I think I just want to say, I heard Stardew Valley is another great peaceful game that everyone's been talking about.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Stardew Valley.
I literally fucking own that game, and I can't play it for longer than 5 minutes before I turn it off.
Not for you.
It almost might be too relaxing.
It's not even that. I'm just too dumb to know how to play it.
Oh, it's actually, it requires, oh shit, okay.
Yeah,
I think it's like learning one step at a time of what you can do.
It literally is. It literally is. Apparently, anytime I ever hear anyone talk about that game, they're like, yeah, it took me a month, but then I play that game like every day now. And I'm like, I'm cool.
Kind of like farming for real.
Yeah. Anyways, so thanks again, guys. I have a lot of stuff that I want to prepare for the next episode, so we'll catch you guys then. And thanks for watching, thanks for listening to Too Many Games.
Too many games.
Too many games.
Too many games. All right, later, guys.